Sorry about that couple of minute delay there. Had a reboot on the computer, unfortunately, but we're back in 2 minutes late. Sorry about that. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Florida Lacrosse News. I'm Lee Roggenberg, your host for the day. Before we get into the high school and college results from the state, you'll notice I've got a Hobart lacrosse shirt on today. 5 o'clock, we have the Statesman and Cornell on ESPN Plus for those who have that. Let's add a little bit to the storyline. We are playing Cornell for the 139th time in a series that started in 1898. So you get an idea about why this is a big deal for someone like me today. Those of you remember that we actually brought the game down here to Oxbridge. Boy, I guess it's 2015 or 16. Just wanted to touch base a little bit on how special this is. Coach Greg Raymond, Hobart, wrote a nice note to me after the game thanking us for putting it on down here. But if you think I'm just, fully Hobart oriented on this one, just want to point out that during that broadcast, I did have a chance to speak and get to know a little bit Richie Moran, the head coach of Cornell, who was actually the last guest. Richie put out this book, I guess a year or two later. It's a marvelous read. And the thing that really got me, and Richie's in a little bit, has kind of been in bad health recently. We want to wish him the best. He wrote this inscription to me in this book, and it means an awful lot to me. Richie, get well. Guys, let's have a great game tonight. It's at Shulkoff in Ithaca, and I'll be there at 5 o'clock on the dot watching the game. And if it gets over quick enough and I can get to something tonight just to have some fun and watch, I'll do so. There's a terrific slate of games, but unfortunately, this one takes precedent to me, guys. So let's get back to high schools last night. Boys winners, Palmer Trinity, 8-7 over Coral Glades. Wesley Chapel, 9-8 over St. Petersburg. Wiregrass Ranch, 16-9 over Admiral Farragut. Holy Trinity Episcopal, 7-6 over Lake Nona. That's a good win for Holy Trinity, and Lake Nona is showing that they are starting to make some noise too. Florida Christian, 15-11 over LaSalle. John Carroll, 10-7 over Jupiter Christian. We have Flagler Palm Coast, 15-8 over Seminole. Tampa Catholic, 8-7 over Sickles. St. Stephen's, 12-5 over Cypress Creek. Winners on the boys' side, Newsom, Oak Hall, Plant, Wharton, Jensen Beach, Cocoa Beach, Haggerty, Maclay, Fleming Island, Oak Hall, and Montverde. Last night on the girls' scores, the close ones, Westminster Christian, 6-5 over Coral Shores. Cocoa Beach, 15-10 over Rockledge. Holy Trinity, 12-5 over West Shore. South Lake, 9-6 over Edgewater. Fort Walton Beach, 8-5 over Booker T. Washington. Robinson, 11-4 over Wharton. Edgewood, 8-4 over Satellite. Oviedo, 6-4 over Windermere. East Lake, 13-6 over Clearwater Central. Easy winners on the girls' side last night, Fletcher, Stoneman, St. Andrews, Vieira, Sebastian River, Palm Beach Central, St. Stephen's, Lake Brantley, Naples, Niceville, Seminole, Plant, Wellington, South Fork, Vieira, Boone, and St. Petersburg. Okay, before we get to the upcoming games tonight, let's go through the weekend in the college side. JU men, terrific weekend, fly out west, 11-9 win over Denver, 15-9 win over Air Force, back-to-back days. They've now risen to number 8 in the national polls. Coach Galloway, congratulations on a great accomplishment. It's our first time, I believe, that any Florida men's, obviously they're D1, but to see them at number 8 in the polls right now is quite the accomplishment. JU women lost to University of North Carolina 17-10. Caitlin Wurzberger, 1 goal and 2 assists for UNC. The UF women lose to Maryland 18-8. Danielle Pavanelli with 4 goals for the Gators. The Stetson women with the 15-13 win over Winthrop. Samantha Polino, 4 goals. Martin County's grad Sage Rowe with 2 goals, and Flagler Palm Coast's grad Katie Kornacki with a goal for Stetson in the win. Embry-Riddle men lost to North Greenville 13-12 in overtime. Haggerty's Christian Hofer, 2 assists in that game. The Florida Southern men defeated Flagler 22-4. A couple of Stoneman kids showing big. You had Stoneman Thomas Franks, 7 goals and 2 assists in the game. And Kevin Horwitz went 19 for 26 at the faceoffs, and I believe is about 74% for the season, which is a terrific pace. Jupiter Christian's Griffin Phillips, a goal and assist for Florida Southern. Jupiter grad Tyler Douglas, 1 goal for Flagler. Forest grad Drew Flagg, 1 goal for Flagler. Montevallo, 19-5 over the Palm Beach Atlantic men. Jupiter Christian's Caleb Southard with a goal for Palm Beach Atlantic. Bishop Verose, Dylan Insolia with 1 assist for Palm Beach Atlantic. The Rollins men 14-13 over Lynn. Lynn has now lost their last 2 games by a goal each. Team that was rated very well in the preseason, just kind of looking to get it turned around. Anderson over Embry-Riddle on Sunday, 10-4. On the women's side, Queens 20-7 over the St. Leo women on Friday. Rollins women 18-6 over Lenore Rhine. Trinity Prep grad Paige Kindly with 1 goal for Rollins. Excuse me. Flagler women 18-5 over Palm Beach Atlantic. South Fork's Anna Lascaris with 2 goals for Palm Beach Atlantic. And St. John Paul alum Caitlin Traynor with 4 goals for Flagler. Embry-Riddle women 14-10 over Assumption. Dr. Phillips grad Zariah Durham with 3 goals and 2 assists. Rollins women 12-7 over Limestone. Trinity Page's Kindly again with another goal for Rollins. Queens women 12-9 over Florida Southern. Spanish River's Lizzie Lynch with a goal and an assist for Florida Southern. And Naples Marley Gaddy with 1 goal for them too. Okay, full slate tonight. Some really big games tonight. St. Edward's hosts Benjamin. That should be a war. Remembering that Benjamin won the regular season last year comfortably, but St. Ed's came back, knocked them off in districts on their run to the championship game. I expect an awful lot of intensity out of that one. Lakewood Ranch hosting Lakeland. Southwater Walton hosting Niceville. Ponte Vedra is going to host Episcopal School. A very important game for Episcopal. Ponte Vedra, coming off their loss to Plant, is going to be loaded for bear to get back on the winning streak. For Episcopal, this is one of those games that, as that program has progressed, let's see how much they narrow the gap on this one. I don't expect them to win the game, but I'll be paying attention to the margin and how the game plays out on that closely. Bowles is hosting Nice. Very strong matchup up north too. Jupiter hosts St. Andrews. We'll see how Jupiter responds to their loss, facing the number 1 team in the state. Mitchell is hosting Eastlake. Important because those of you might have noticed I gave Eastlake the nod at number 15 in 2A this week. Whether or not it's deserved, we'll know tonight. But, as I mentioned to someone who had some questions for me and some comments on the polls we posted yesterday, I want to make this clear that once in a while, particularly earlier in the season, I will use the last slot or 2 in the polls to sort of reward a team that's really making the effort, has had a good record, is playing a good schedule overall, but I realize is not likely to be there at the end of the season with a resume good enough. And that's why when you see an East Lake, when you see a Westminster Christian in the polls, I'm going purely on what they did accomplish and accomplished against a better schedule than maybe some of the others that I've not listed, because I want to show that we recognize the effort, at least early in the year, and to encourage them to keep going and building programs, because it's very easy for programs here to also fall back off and in a couple of instances give up the sport. Jesuit is hosting Cardinal Mooney, also looking to bounce back from a tough loss to Lake Mary. Gulf Coast hosts Bishop Verot. Bishop Verot, this is the game that you have to win to get consideration for polling, because the schedule just isn't there after this game. Oxbridge is hosting Pinecrest, two undefeated teams in 1A. That will be a beauty. King's Academy is hosting St. John Paul. St. John Paul looking to start to get some of these signature wins. Winter Park is hosting Windermere. Same thing for Windermere as it is for Episcopal Jacksonville. It's time to show how far you've come, and let's see how you play against Winter Park. Martin County is hosting Vieira. Interesting game on the Treasure Coast, certainly worth paying attention to. Martin County in the past has been a top 25 program, has fallen off a little bit over the years, and looks like it's trying to reverse that. A nice win against Holy Trinity earlier in the year. Vieira is also in that situation. They're really pushing hard to get up into consideration in the polling as they continue to grow their program. Okay, now on the girls' side, we got the big one locally. American Heritage Del Rey hosting Lake Highland. Numbers 1 and 2 in 1A. Honestly, 1 and 2 in all of Florida. It's always a marvelous event when they get together. If I was not so enamored with this tonight, I would be there. Berkeley Prep is hosting Academy of the Holy Names. Plant is hosting Barron Collier. West Florida hosts Seacoast Collegiate. Pinecrest is hosting Oxbridge. American Heritage Plantation is hosting Boca Raton. Oviedo is hosting Winter Springs. Excuse me. Okay, now, as I said before, I'll say it again. Take a friend to a game. Hashtag #TAFTAG. Hashtag lay off the refs. We need to make sure that we have enough of them. Reports keep coming in that games are getting shorted all around the state on refs. And one of the reasons is the abuse they have taken, have decided they've just taken enough. Parents, control yourself. Believe me, nothing you say from the stands is going to change the mind of anyone. And in the possibility of even maybe hurting you in a 50-50 call, parents, keep it under control. Kids, too, on the field, keep it under control. Coaches, I know you work them. Try to keep this in mind. We don't want 2 refs on every single game down here. Okay, get out to a game, enjoy, and tomorrow I'm either going to be very happy or I'm going to have to send Andrew Knust a note saying, all right, you got me on this one. This is Lee Roggenberg, Florida Lacrosse News, saying so long from the Sunshine State.